Tapayeva dvitiyas. This is the mantra portion being taken for explanation purpose. What is tapa? He says, Kricha Chandrayanadi. Tadvans tapasa. Kricha Chandrayan is austerities consisting of physical penance mainly. And usually it is done in the dark night, that is the dark fortnight, the Krishna Paksha. Wrong. It is done the full moon night only, because of those 15 days, as in Shukla Paksha, the moon becomes larger and larger and larger. Every day you have to increase whatever your rule is. For example, you decided to take 1 glass of water. For 15 days, you will take increasing one glass, up to 15 glasses of water on the 15th day. And then Krishna Paksha go on reducing, 14, 13, 12, like that, and to 0. There is 1 month complete, is called the penance that you are doing, the austerities that you are following, that is called as Kricha Chandrayana. Adi is similar. There are many such physical penances being stated in the Shruti and Smriti, in the Vedas and the other books, scriptures. And a person who performs such austerities is called as tapasa. And also, we have to take a man dwelling in the forest. And who does that? It's not a brahmachari cannot do that. A grahastha will not do Kricha Chandrayana. But it is done by Vanaprastha. Is the second is taken now? Vanaprastha. The first was Grihastha. And the second is the Vanaprastha. A man dwelling in the forest, doing different types of austerities and penances. Or Bhashakara says Parivradva, a formal roving mendicant, not a monk. As I told while explaining the mantra, the difference you have to make here between a Paramahamsa sannyasi and a Parivrajak sannyasi. A Parivrat means he is a roving saint, a mendicant. He is not a monk. He is not a Paramahamsa. He is not a Brahma Sanstha. There's a Bhashakara says, Na Brahma Sanstha. Never take the Brahma Sanstha Paramahamsa sannyasi. Why? Ashrama Dharma Matra Sanstha. Then whom you have to take? He says, Ashrama Dharma Matra Sanstha. Brahma Sanstha tu Amritatva Shravana. Here we will be taking those people, one is adopting mendicancy. That is, he has come into the 4th stage of life because he has to come. The first stage is brahmacharya, second is grihastha, third is vanaprastha, 4th stage. By krama sannyasa he has taken. It is not because of knowledge. It is not because of vairagya. Because he has come to that stage of life, 75 years crossed, he is taking sannyasa. Such a krama sannyasi, without knowledge, he may have or may not have knowledge, but he had mostly taken as he has no knowledge of Brahman. He has not practiced Brahma Jnana. He has no Brahma Sanstha. He is not a Brahma Sanstha. That's why Ashrama Dharma Matra Sanstha. Therefore, one who merely follows the different norms, conditions, rules and regulations that has been prescribed for the 4th stage of life, of that particular stage, such a person is called as mendicant, and he has to be taken here in the second. The reason is given because to Brahma Sanstha tu Amritatva Shravana. Because if he is a Paramahamsa sannyasi, he is a monk, then surely he will attain immortality. This is what has been told in the latter part of the mantra. Dityo Dharmaskandaha. This is the second division of the virtuous people. Brahmachari Acharya Kule Vastum Shilamasiti Acharya Kulavasi. And this is the third division of the virtuous people. We are not speaking the divisions of the stages of life. The first division Brahmachari, second division is, we are not speaking of the divisions of the stages of life. We are just speaking of the divisions of virtuous people who are going to attain the virtuous worlds. So Brahmachari, and he will take the celibate, who is living lifelong in the Acharya's house itself. Acharya Kule Vastum Shilamasya, who wants to lead his whole life, the rest of the life, in the Acharya's Guru Kula's ashram itself. Such a person is called as Acharya Kulavasi, A person residing for the rest of his life in the master's house. Atyantam yavat jivam. It's more clear. He is making the meaning of the Acharya Kulavasi. How is going to stay there? How will be his lifestyle there? He says, Atyantam yavat jivam atmanam niyamair Acharya Kule avasadayan kshapayan deham tritiyo dharmaskandaha. Totally until jivam, this whole life, niyamaihi, following different types of disciplines, he himself will devote, get dedicated totally. Atyantam atmanam avasadayan. You have to take these words together. Huh? Atyantam atmanam avasadayan. Totally dedicating himself in the Acharya Kula, he slowly lets the body decay and destroy there only. Kshapayan deham is destroying his body itself, physical body. Niyamai, how is going to destroy that? Not just doing fasting. By the niyamai, he'll follow certain disciplines there. Due to certain disciplines that is going to bind himself, which will bind himself, the disciplines, he'll follow it. Just like we want to follow, we want to be in Bhavanam, we want to do this, following certain disciplines. For upliftment from this stage or from wherever we are, or to experience the Brahman, for whatever reason it might be, we are also following certain disciplines. Similarly, this celibate, this brahmachari, will surely be following many such disciplines by which his body is going to slowly destroy. This is the third division of the virtuous people, Tritiyo Dharmaskandaha. Atyantam ityadi visheshanat. You see, Atyantam is there, totally he has to dedicate. And the whole life, yavat jivam and Atyantam atmanam avasadayan. You see, yavat jivan is the whole life. And Atyantam avasadayan, totally dedicated also. These visheshanas, these adjectives, which are adjectival words which are being used, shows there is a Naistika Brahmin, not ordinary celibate who has gone for studying the Vedas. Because he will not be following any such severe disciplines, he is not going to destroy his body. Because later he has to go into Grihastha Ashrama, he will be keeping his body fit. He'll eat well there, drink well there, do all exercises, do hard work also, and develop his body. Bodybuilder. He'll be building his body well, he'll not become a bodybuilder. Bhashakar is telling where next line see, Upakurvanasya swadhyaya grahanartatvat na punyalokatvam brahmacharyena. Don't take that brahmachari, the first ashrama, the first stage of life. Because he is called as Upakurvana. See the difference now. It has a difference the brahmachari. One is Upakurvana brahmachari, there is the Naistika brahmachari. Naistika brahmachari is doing all austerities, all penance, types of penances, disciplines. But his Upakurvana brahmachari, he is following the rules necessary for celibacy. And the purpose of celibacy is Swadhyaya Granartatvat, to learn the Vedas. And merely by following celibacy, he is not going to attain the Punyalokatvam, the virtuous words. Because he is maintaining celibacy and following the disciplines needed for that, just to attain the Vedas, not to attain the virtuous words. Therefore, Bhashakara says, his main purpose of leading a celibate life is Swadhyaya Grahanam. Therefore, that will not lead him to virtuous words. This is about the final decision about the third division of the virtuous people. Sarvayete Trayopi Ashramino. Ete means only these three. Don't take the fourth wala, Brahma Sanstha, who has been separated. So Sarvayete means what? Trayopi Ashramino. Yathoktir dharmaihi punyaloka bhavanti. Belonging to the different stages of life, Trayopi. They might be on any stage of life, actually here. That's why he said, instead of taking Vanaprastha, there he also said Parivaradva. A mendicant also has been taken. Therefore, the person be in any stage of life. The stage of life is not important. Here the division is due to his virtues only. So Trayopi Ashramino, belonging to the different stages of life, all these three types of people following their ethoktir dharmaihi, what they are doing? They are following the virtues as mentioned above. Punyaloka bhavanti, they will surely attain the virtuous worlds. There's no doubt in it. Here Punyaloka bhavanti means they are the attainers of the world. Punyaloka bhavachan. Why? Because the people are not one, and many people attaining these words. Therefore, the people who are going to attain the words are called as Punyaloka. Here, the literal meaning is not being taken here. Punya, there's a Bhashakara is deriving the word, you see. Punyo loko esham te ime punyalokaha ashramina bhavanti. Those who belong to, those who will be belonging to, they will be going, they have not yet gone, they will be going to, or they will be attaining the virtuous words. Those people are called as Punyalokaha. Those ashrami, those people who are following such disciplines as mentioned, and in the different stages of life, those people are called as Punyalokaha. Avashishtasto amukta parivrat brahmasansto. The one left over now is who? Avashishtasto. The one left over and not been mentioned up to now. Anukta. Who is that? That parivrat, that monk, not the roving mendicant, but the monk, the Paramahamsa sannyasi. Who is he? Brahma Sanstha. He is now deriving the Brahma Sanstha word. Brahmani samyak stitaha. Not nitram stitaha. Nitram sthiti means continuity of the vritti, that I am Brahman. That's not one stage. He is not experienced. He has not become Brahman. Now here, he has established properly. Samyak stitaha. He has established properly in Brahman, and he is Brahman now. Such a person, he is going to attain what? Amritatvam, the immortality. Punyaloka vilakshanam amarana bhavam atyantikam yeti. Punyaloka vilakshanam, because this immortality is totally different from the immortality that is attained by attaining the virtuous words. But when you are going to attain the virtuous word, you will also become Devata. Is that? Devanapyati. When you become the Devata, when you become a deity, the deities are what? They are also immortal. Ajara, Amaraha, Devaha, Amaraha, they are also immortal. Then what is the difference between immortality of a Brahma Sanstha and these virtuous people? Punyaloka. That is na apekshikam. Those people are attaining relative immortality, and this fellow, the Brahma Sanstha, is atyantimam amarana bhavam. Atyantikam is attaining the absolute immortality. It is not apekshipam. It is not a relative immortality. Devadi amritatvat. It is not like the immortality attained by the deities, but that is surely going to have an end.
So he is a jnani.
Brahmagya. Brahman. He is Brahman itself now. Brahmit Brahmai Bhavati. It is absolute immortality, that is why. Punyaloka vilakshana. That is the immortality attained by him is how? Punyaloka vilakshanam. Is totally different from that being attained by those people who are going to the virtuous worlds. Then how is it? He says the absolute freedom is not relative. No apekshipagam. There is absolute freedom from death. That is absolute immortality. Because there is not absolute freedom from death. There is also death. In the end, after the kalpa, there is the death of all these deities. Therefore, this absolute freedom from death is called as here Amritatvam. Punyaloka. How you are taking this meaning? He says, you see, Punyalokat prithak Amritatvasya vibhaga karanat. Because of dividing or separating from that immortality which is being attained by going to the attaining the virtuous words. Prithak means separating. The Amritatvasya, the Amritatva, the immortality attained by the Brahma Sanstha is being separated, and with the division it is being told. That is the Punyaloka for those three people and Amritatvam for the Brahma Sanstha. Vibhaga karana, because of the divide, because the cause that is being divided, separated. Moreover, yadicha, if somebody may say, you see, in that Punyaloka only, because he was a Paramasannyasi, high grade. Just like the Singhasana, it will be there, special Singhasana for him, higher one. And other ordinary asanas he will be sitting. Punyalokatishiya matram yadicha amritatvam vivashyat tata punyalokatvad vibhaktam navakshat. If immortality attained by this Brahma Sanstha is only something which has certain super excellence, atishaya matram, only super excellence of immortality is there. The others are immortal and the excellency of immortality is increasing higher and higher and higher. And this fellow lands super excellent immortality, the Brahma Sanstha. If this has to be stated by the Upanishad, by the Vedas, then he would not have separated this separately and told, Ete, why it says, Sarve Ete Punyaloka. He should have told this statement later. The declaration in the mantra, if you see, he has told first, Sarve Ete Punyaloka Bhavanti. Then the statement comes, Brahma Sanstha Mritatameti. He should have settled it like this. Acharikuli Avasadayan. Okay, the third skandha is over. Then we say, Brahma Sanstha Mritatameti Chaturthaha. And after that, he has to say, state, Sarvayate Punyaloka Bhavanti. Then you can say, oh, the first is Brahmachari, Grasta, with the Yagyadana, that is also attained virtuous world, at the lower standard. A bit higher immortality will be in the second wala. And more excellent will be of the third one. And this is the fourth one, is the super excellent immortality. In that way, we do the grading in that. If the Sarvayate Punyaloka Bhavanti statement would have been in the end of the mantra. But after discussing the three divisions of the virtuous people, it is stated, the result has been stated. Sarvayate Punyaloka Bhavanti, and having separating the fourth one from the three. After that, this has been stated, Brahma Sanstha, and the result of it has been stated separately in the mantra. Yadicha Punyalokatisha Matram Amritattvam Abhishyat, if at all the Shruti, the Veda, the Upanishad mantra wanted to state only the super excellence of immortality in the Brahma Sanstha Purusha, then Tataha Punyalokatvad Vibhaktam Navaksha. Then it would not have been spoken of separately from the Punyaloka, those virtuous people. You should not have separated. Vibhaktopadeshat, as and because it has been stated having by separation, Atyantikam Mritatamiti Kamyate. Therefore, the immortality attained by this Brahma Sanstha is how? Absolute. This is what you can decide. This is what we come to realize by the way the mantra is being declaring the matter. Atracha Ashramadara Phalopanyasa Pranava Seva Sutyartam. And now the Shastra is over. Now it's going back to give the explanation of the whole thing. He says, you see, here, Atra, Ashramadara Phalopanyasa. Then if that was the actual case, if you want to just enjoy your meditation on Om, which is not related or connected in any way to karma, to the spiritual, the Vedic rites. If you wanted to state only that, then why you brought these people honestly in between? Punyaloka Bhavanti. Why you are mentioning them over here? He says, it is for Stutyartha. A person who is going to meditate on Om, which is a symbol of Brahman, is going to attain Brahman. He will become Brahma Sanstha. Then he is going to attain absolute immortality. And those who are not meditating on Om as Brahman, they will not attain such an immortality. Even though they will also be attaining immortality. Punyaloka. Therefore, he says, Atracha Ashrama Dharma Phalopanyasa. Here we are not wishing to enjoy the results of the other ashramas, which has been mentioned now, but it is for Pranava Seva Stutyartha. It is only for praising those people who are worshipping or who are meditating, who are using Pranava Om for their own liberation. Na tatphala vidyartham. Na tatphala vidyartham. The result of the virtues of the different stages of life is not to be enjoined over here. This mantra is not for vidhi or enjoining of the results of those ashramas. Of a person is yajna, dana, tapa, what is going to happen, what is going to happen to whom, what is going to attain. We don't want to enjoy the results of those spiritual activities, of those virtues. Because those virtues have been mentioned in different parts of the Vedas, and the results have been mentioned there only. We are summarizing of all those things that have been mentioned before, only in praise of Om meditation. Therefore, na tat phala vidyartham. This mantra is not to enjoin the results of the virtues of the different stages of life, but it is meant for the praise of the Om meditation, which is not related to any Vedic rites. Karma nirapeksh Om ki stuti, stutyartha. Stutaye cha pranava sevaya ashanadara phala vidhayeva cha iti hi vijeta vakyam. If somebody says, let it be for praise and let it for enjoying also. Dono arth le lo. Take both the meaning of the sentence of this mantra has two meanings. It is enjoying the results of those virtues, plus it is going to be a praise of Om. Both can be taken here. Both meaning can be taken of this sentence. Splitting the sense of a sentence is called as Vakya Bheda. One sentence you are taking for two different meanings. That's called as Vakya Bheda. Splitting the sense of a sentence so that it will be giving double sense, thereby making it ambiguous. This is considered as a major fault in deciding the meaning of sentences actually. Vakya Bheda is the biggest dosha, the major fault. In Artha Sangra it has come many times, Vakya Bheda. That's what it's Vakyam Vidyeta. This Vakya Bheda dosha syat. This is a major fault in deciding the meaning of any sentence, of it, the sense of any sentence. That will be there if we accept this mantra for two purposes. One for praise and also for enjoying the results of the virtues. Tasmat, therefore, what is happening, what is being done over here in this mantra? Therefore, after stating the results, Tasmat Smriti Siddha Ashra Phala Anuvadena. There is no vidhi, here is Anuvada. Vidhi is apurva vidhi, is not. It's not been that meaning is not available from any other source. Ananya labhyo shabdartha, I told. Ananya labhya. Vidhir atyantam aprapto. That which is not, we have not got from any other source of what you call as cognitions, then only we have to accept it as vidhi. Otherwise what it is? Anuvada. So where are these? Where did we get from these results? These are from the different Shruti and Smriti. Smriti Siddha. These results are well known in different types of scriptures. Ashrama Smriti Siddha. What are these which are well known? Ashrama Phala. The results of the different virtues being performed at the different stages of life. Those are being what? Anuvadena. It is being restated here, that's all. That means what? Up to Sarveta Punyaloka Bhavanti, in this mantra, from the beginning, Trayodharma Skandaha, from there up to Punyaloka Bhavanti, this whole thing is only restatement of the scriptures and smritis. Why are we restating this? To praise the last portion of the mantra. What is that last portion? Brahma Samstha Vartatvam Ekti. Pranava Seva Phalam Amritatvam Bruvan Pranava Sevam Stauti. Pranava Seva Phalam Amritatvam Bruvan, because in the last portion, the latter portion of the mantra, it is being very clearly stated the result of the Pranava Seva. Phala means the result of the Pranava Seva, the worshipping of Pranava, the meditation of Pranava is being stated was Amritatvam, the absolute what absolute immortality. Stating so, Bruvan, Pranava Sivam Stauti. Therefore, this is meant, the 90% of the mantra is meant only for praising this meditation. Why you want to do so? He says it's just like in the world. In this world we see there is a person, is a wealthy person and a king. There is a wealthy person and a king. If you do seva of a wealthy person, praise a wealthy person, or you do work for a wealthy person, you get money. You can earn a lot. But if you praise and you do work for a king, will you not get in more than what you can get out of that wealthy person? Naturally. Is it not? You surely will get more by serving the king than by serving the wealthy person. Similarly, instead of serving means actually, instead of performing different actions, different virtuous deeds, what immortality you are going to get? More than that, the absolute immortality you can get by serving Om. Due to this similarity that we are having in this world, what we are seeing, the same things be adopted by the Vedas to make us realize the importance and the greatness of Om. Yatha Purnavarmana, somebody's name, some wealthy person, his name was Purnavarma. Purnavarmana Seva, the service given to a wealthy person by name Purnavarma. By that, what you are going to attain? Bhakta Pradhana Matra Phala. That service will give you only food and clothing. And if by chance an opportunity is given to you to do the service of a Rajavarmanastu Seva, of a person called Rajavarma, and he was a king, and if you by chance if the opportunity is given and you are going to do the service to such a person, what you are going to get? Rajyatulya Phala. You will get such a high result, almost you are the king itself. Tadvat. Similarly, here also we want to show that ordinary virtues, just even big tapas, Kricha Chandrayana and such tapas, such penances also, will give only relative immortality. And if you are by chance, you will be introduced into the Om meditation and surely can attain the absolute immortality, which is the greatest and is the highest goal of a human being. By stating so, we are praising the Om. Pranavascha tat satyam param brahma tat pratikatvat. And how is that possible? If anybody says, how Pranava, the Om can give us such a result, absolute immortality, and such great yajna, dhanam, tapa, and the whole life the brahmachari, Nishtak brahmachari leads a life in the Guru ashram, and still he cannot attain absolute immortality. What is the speciality of this pranava? It is giving us absolute immortality. But that is the pranavascha tat satyam. That is actually the absolute truth. And once you attain the absolute truth, it is param also. It is supreme Brahma. It is actually Brahman itself. Why? Tat pratikatva. There is a symbol of Brahman. So, how you came to know that Om is a symbol of Brahman? In Yoga Sutra as I told, and in Katha Upanishad also it has been told. Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha in Yoga Sutra. And here Katha Upanishad. Etad Dhevaksharam Brahma, Etad Dhevaksharam Param, Ityadi Amnanat Kathake Yuktam Tasya Vato Amritatvam. This very letter Om, this very letter Etad Hi Eva Aksham, because this very letter Om is Brahman. This very letter Om is Param, is the supreme thing. This is what has been stated in the Kathopanishad. Therefore, it is yuktam, it is reasonable to state that the Tat Sevato, by meditation and worship of this Om, surely one will be attaining the absolute immortality, Amritatvam. Now one Purupakshi starts, one objector standing up, says, Maharaj, wait. Atrahu Kechit. Some people say so with regard to this matter, that चतुर्णाम आश्रणाम अविशेषेण स्वकर्म अनुष्ठानात् पुण्य लोकता यह उक्ता. He says here actually all the four asana people will attain. It is what we sarvayete. In sarvayete you should take all the four. One there is three before and one it is separated later, stated later. All the four together you have to take. Chaturnaam ashraminam avisheshena, without any distinction. Without any distinction. Because now here is the actually Vrittikara Mata. This is called as the doctrine of Vrittikara. He says karma and jnana samuchaya leads you to moksha, not only jnana. Only jnana cannot give you, only knowledge cannot give you liberation. Karma and knowledge, hand in hand together when you practice, then only you will be attaining the absolute immortality. This is a theory, the doctrine of the Vrittikara. He is standing here. He is the objector. He says, all the four ashrama people, and it takes here the four ashrama in the sense brahmacharya, not the way the Bhashyakara is divided. The Bhashyakara divided as the division of virtuous people only, not about the stages of life. But here he says, no, all the four stages. The first is brahmachari. The krama is different, that's all he says. The first was yajna dana has been told, that's why you have to take grahastha. The krama, the order is not being taken here, in which it has to be taken. But brahmacharya has been taken later. Tapa is, the third one is brahmachari. In the order here, what is the first is grahastha, second is vanaprastha, third is brahmachari, and the last in the place is kept the sannyasi, sannyasa ashrama. Therefore, all the four ashrama is there. This is what the Vrittikara wants to say. Against Acharya Shankara's explanation, he says, Chaturnaam ashraminam avisheshena, without any distinction, all four people, four types of people who are leading the four different stages of life, Swakarma Anushtanat, you see, they are performing the respective rites that they have to do in that stage of life. Swakarma Anushtanat, Punya Lokata Yokta, for them only it is being said, these people are the attainers of the virtuous words. Jnana Varjitanam. And how are these people again? They are actually having no knowledge. Sarvete punniloka bhavanti. Sarvete punniloka bhavanti. And the last one, Brahma Samstha, is what? He has got jnana also. That's the only difference. These people also will be attaining, but these will have no jnana. The fourth one has got jnana. This difference you can make, that's all. Nadr Parivrada Visheshita, the monk has not been separated, and there's no special distinction given for that Paramamsa Parivrajaka Sannyasi. Why? Parivrajaka Jnanam Yama Niyamascha Tapa Eva. Because he can also be included in Tapa. Because what a Parivrajaka Sannyasi is doing is unnecessarily roaming around the world, is it not? Parivrajaka means what? Roaming around. He's roaming, that is a Tapa. He does Yamaha. He is practicing Yamaha. He is practicing Niyamaha. The Panch Yama and Panch Niyama only. Ahimsa, Satyastai, Brahmacharya, Parigraha, Shaucha, Santosha, Swadesha, Pradhanani. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapa, Swadesha, Pradhanani. These are the 5 Niyamaha. So these Yama and Niyama, all these are included in austerities, Tapa. And Tapa has been told here as the second one. Therefore, this monk is also not excluded and separated. There is no special distinction. This has also been included in Tapa only. Tapa eva dvitiya ityatra Tapa shabdena parivrartha paso grihito. Therefore, Tapa eva dvitiya, in the second division only, these sannyasis are also been taken along with the vanaprastha. Those people have also been referred to in the second division only. Atha, teshameva chaturnam yo brahma samstha. Now you see, among those 4 types of ashrama people, so now the Vrittikara wants to say here, in the second division put both. So in the 3 divisions only, the 4 ashramas are coming now. The first division is Grahastha ashrama. The second division in this is doing Vanaprastha and Sannyasi, both. And the last division is of Brahmachari. This is how he wants to take now. And what is the Brahma Sanstha that separate? He says, these people are without knowledge doing their respective duties. They will attain the virtuous ones according to their virtuous karma. But who is this fourth one? Among these, any can be the fourth one. Among the 4 ashrama people, anyone can be the Brahma Sanstha. He attains knowledge, he is doing his respective duties, at same time he is practicing Brahma Jnana, therefore he has attained that knowledge. With the karma, he is attaining knowledge. Therefore he has become absolute immortality. Without karma, he will not be doing. Because all these people are doing karma. They are all doing their own respective duties. The respective rights that is mentioned in the different stages of life, that they are performing, they are following them. Therefore, along with that karma, those duties, these people, if they attain by chance knowledge, then they will be called as Brahma. Sannyasi and nothing is there separate here. Anyone can be, even a grasta can come over here. Brahma Sanstha. Brahmachari can be a Brahma Sanstha. Vanaprastha can be a Brahma Sanstha. A sannyasi also can be a Brahma Sanstha. This is what we are saying. The Vrittikaya. Ata teshameva, you see, teshameva chaturnam. Among those 4 type of ashramas, stages of life, what is doing? Yo Brahma Sanstha. A person, whoever it might be, whoever so it might be, if he is a Brahma Sanstha, means what? Pranava Sevaka, a meditator on Om, so that fellow, Amritameti, is going to attain the absolute immortality. Iti. Chaturnam Adhikritatva Vishesha. Because all the 4 have got equal competency and eligibility to attain immortality. Everybody has got the right to attain immortality. The only condition is, for immortality, he should have knowledge also. Just by doing his own karma, his own duties that has been prescribed for the different stages of life, different ashramas, if only by that, he is going to attain the virtuous worlds, a relative immortality. But that person itself, along with the karma, if he is going to attain the Brahma Jnana, then he is going to attain absolute immortality. So then the Karma Jnana Samuchaya. Then the question comes, when he is going to practice the Brahma Jnana? There is no time to it all. The whole day he has to do all the karma, whole 24 hours is fixed up. No. Who is going to do 24 hours karma? There is interval in between. Morning Agnihotra, evening Agnihotra. In the afternoon what he will do? Do Brahma Abhyasa. That's what he says. Swakarma chidrecha Brahma Sanstayam Samarthapate. During the intervals of his daily duties and the Nitya and Naimita karma, at the interval times, he can practice Brahma Jnana. They can attain the ability, Samarthyapatte. It is reasonable to say that in between in the interval time, during the interval time of his different types of duties, he can practice Brahma Jnana and attain that ability and eligibility and competency to become a Brahma Sanstha, and he can also he can attain the absolute immortality. He can become Brahman. And the word Brahma Sanstha, you cannot take it in a conventional way. It's not a conventional word. It is a derived word. Brahmani Sthitir Yasya. Anybody can have Brahmani Sthiti. Why Paramamsa Sannyasi? You are taking Paramamsa Sannyasi as a contract, just to have a contract like that. Paramamsa Sannyasi only can have attain absolute liberation. What is this? Why you want to give speciality to that fellow? Anybody should be able to attain moksha. This is what the Purva Paksha is telling. Nacha yava varahadi shabdavat. Don't think that this word is like yava and varaha. There is a vimansa, yava varahadi karanam. There is a doubt in the meaning of yava. What is meant by yava? And what is meant by yavaraha? Varam aha iti varaha. Somebody said it like that. That means varamaha. A person is going to say tathastu vara. That means God. Vara means God. It is not pig. So what meaning should be taken? Which meaning should be taken here now? Pig or God? Similarly, yava. Yava means it's called weight is also called as yava. One weight. And the weights, the different weights are called, one weight is called yava. So you should take the weight here or the barley? Which you have to take? The question rises now, which you want to take, barley or the form of wheat? Then the Mimamsa people decide, no, Yavairva Juhoti, by weight you are going to do any havan? No. And that is Yavairva Vrihibhirva. You either use paddy or wheat. How can you say? Is there a similarity between paddy and wheat? So it is something similar to paddy. You have to take. What can it be? Barley, a grain only. Therefore, the meaning of the Yava word is given there now as barley and not as a wheat. Similarly in Varaha also, where the mantra has come, see the context of the mantra. It is related to different animals. How you are going to bring God over there? Therefore, Varaha means pig only and not God there. So, that means the Ruda meaning has been taken. Varam ahiti Varaha. You should take that. The Ruda, this conventional meaning have been taken in Yava and Varaha. Similarly, here also, you want to take conventional meaning. For that, the objector says no. You cannot take the conventional meaning of the word Brahma Sanstha, just like it has been decided in Yava and Varaha. Yava Varaha adi shabdavat, Brahma Sanstha shabda parivrajake na ruda, nacharuda. Nacharuda. Ruda means conventional. This Brahma Sanstha shabda is not a conventional word. Its expressive form cannot be accepted in Parivrajaka, in a Param Sannyasi, the fourth ashrama. But then what is the meaning? It has got an etymological meaning. Yaugika Shabda. It is etymological. It is not a conventional word. Ruda means conventional and Yaugika means etymological. What is the etymology here? He says Brahmani Stithi Nimittam Upadaya Pravritatvat. Brahmani Sanstiti. By accepting the fact, Nimittam Upadaya, by accepting the fact that the person has attained or properly established himself in Brahman, that person is called as Brahma Sanstha. He may be anybody. In whichever stage of life, anybody can attain that state. So this word is used in this sense only and not in the sense of a sannyasi. Nahi rudi shabda nimittam upadate. And never a conventional word depends upon any etymological reason to state its meaning. As rudi shabdas have, as always tell, gachatiti goho. But the meaning of the word go is what? Cow. And this meaning is not depending upon the etymology. Neither on the gam dhatu nor on the suffix, the pratyaya dos. The meaning of the suffix or the meaning of the root is not accepted here. Is not taken in any way. The meaning of the word go, the cow, is an animal, a special animal. So similarly he says, here it is not like that. Because this word is depending upon the etymological reason, Brahmani Stitir Yasya. This word is not like the words go, etc., conventional words. Because it is seen that any conventional word, any rude word, never depends upon etymology. Etymological reasons are not needed. Nimittam nahi nimittam upadadate. It never depends upon any etymological reason if it is a conventional word. Sarveshancha brahmani sthiti rupapadate. Why you are depriving of general people? Everybody, anybody in this world, in any stage of life, can attain his sthiti, can establish himself in Brahman. This is, if you say this, it will be reasonable. All will be happy. That's what the people do nowadays. To please everybody, to make happy everybody, they say such things all times.